Well, it's October the 11th, 2009, and this is for a quick audit of the garden on this day. The oil tank has been recently refilled. Herb garden, a bit of a mess. The pocket handkerchief tree, Davidia involucrata, still got stacks of leaves on it. I think it was full. The ground also is beginning to fill up with leaves, but maybe they're dropping a little bit earlier. Table. Orange blossom was terrific this year at the end of the year. Going through the Davidia. This is a place where once a year, in October, in about 2 weeks' time, I take the same picture each time just to see how it's changed on that day. We've got 2 weeks away yet. The ginkgo, having been freed of all the foliage around it, is now growing quite fast. We have these amazing fungi. There's one there, and there's one there. And just further down the garden, there's another amazing one. Let's have a look. Two kinds of fungi. They change every other day, the actual shape of them. That one has suddenly appeared overnight, that big tongue. And they're all on a tree trunk. We had to cut it down with moss all over it. Just beyond the tree trunk is the Davidia involucrata, grown from a seed. Very proud of that one. It still seems to be surviving. The vine that we planted from a cutting last year is doing all right. Last year's Christmas tree might do again for this year. And here, this year, we had an absolutely amazing crop of walnuts. There's the walnut tree. Squirrels, of course, took most of them, but there were so many that they defeated the squirrels. And you can see even now they're on the ground. The leaves are falling there. You can see, if you get close up, there's a walnut. And there are lots and lots of them around. It's not all that big. I just had one this morning. They taste really fresh and not dry at all. This is the bay tree. Growing fast. It's the leaf of the walnut tree. And here, if only it had more light, that is the mulberry tree. And it's got a bit more light in the last few years, and it is now growing quite well up there. It had what looked like fruits earlier this year, but they just disappeared. Whether the squirrels got them or what, I don't know. Come down further into the garden, the monkey puzzle tree. Suddenly growing fast. It's been there about 25 years. Look at it. It's only tiny. They grow very slowly, but my goodness, they last. And here's the apple tree. And this year, it has had quite a few apples on it. There's still one left there. That's our own apple. I'll cut that down in a moment. Down into the depths of the garden now. Now all these trees, all the trees in the garden we planted ourselves, but this one is interesting because that fellow there was a Christmas tree. Each year we planted a Christmas tree out, and now it is some height. You can't even see the top of it. That was a Christmas tree, God knows, 20, 25, 30 years ago. And this one here, as you can see, that's another Christmas tree we planted. And then a few more down here, as it gets darker. That's an oak tree that fell across about 20, 25 years ago, and we've left it as an ornament. And then you can see underneath, it goes on and on down. And that's the garden. As we come up, we used to be able to see this used to be an old pre-Roman road, a Celtic holloway, and people would walk up from the river and they'd see our house, which was a kind of passing place for pilgrims, we think. But now you can't see it from here because it's covered in trees. But that's great. Let's have a final look at the willow tree, which is going to be It has to be pollarded this year because it's just grown so big. Another tree we had to cut down because there's just too many trees. As you can see, we didn't get any daylight. Whereas this year, just look at that greenery. It's amazing for us. Lilac tree which has grown from a cutting. Flowering cherry now dead. That'll have to come down this year probably. And here's the willow tree which again we planted from seed. That's grown so huge it's blotting out the house. That's going to be pollarded. Here's a weeping silver birch. Doesn't grow very fast because it's got plenty of else around it. And lilac, holly, and coming through there, peeking through, can you see, is the cottage on one side. And that's it for October the 11th, 2009.